Part 1: Why Mothers Need Fathers. And how the government has replaced fathers as the man of the house. Welcome, and thank you for joining us here at the Codex Creed. A place where we designed for mature Christians can come and be watered. Today, we are reviewing Part 1 in our study of Father's Day. Why do mothers need fathers? And how the government has replaced fathers as the man of the house. The untold truths that many pastors have overlooked. Let us begin. There is more to being a good father than living under the same roof as your kids. And contrary to the majority belief, a man can be a great father no matter his location. But a mother can never be a child's father, no matter what she does. This fact is why the government has replaced the fathers in the house. With the rise of the feminine movement, the equality rhetoric, and the modern women's agenda, most Western women have taken on a misandrist mindset, an anti-God approach, and an open declaration of war against the family. They have turned bitter, hateful, and downright unattractive to a vast majority of Western men, who now is seeking relationships abroad with more suitable women. But this is not the greatest casualty of these women's wars. The children are. In spite of their claims, the government is not a father to the children. We would have never imagined in our lifetime we would witness the cold-hearted and malice-driven hatred that is plaguing our families today. Relatives can't get along because siblings can't get along. Siblings can't get along because parents can't get along. And opposite the lies and victim playing, 90% of men do not start wars within the household. Yet, 90% of women do. Men start wars outside of their households, against neighbors, strangers, etc. But women start wars within the household, against her man, kids, and family. And to make it worse, 5% of the women who start wars outside of their household do so with no regard for the life of those she gets involved with, whether it is her man, kids, or family. And in the outcome of a tragedy, no one holds her responsible as long as she plays one of two cards: the victim card or the mental health card. Here are the top 6 reasons why mothers need fathers, and how the government has replaced fathers as the man of the house. Number 1, mothers can't give their sons directions in life. Raising children is a full-time job. But raising a son should be considered overtime work. It is detrimental that from an early age a son is given directions in key areas of his life. In Proverbs 1 verse 8, it is the duty of the father to give the sons directions pertaining to life. Things such as picking his friends verse 10 through 19. Picking his mate, Proverbs 5th chapter. And how to govern his life, Proverbs chapters 2 and 3. The list goes on and on. And it is the mother's duty to give the son spiritual principles in those directions his father instructed him on. But instead, mothers have effectively removed the fathers from their sons' lives and replaced the fathers with the Department of Welfare, or some activities such as football, basketball, or hockey. Number 2, mothers can't teach their kids understanding. It takes 2 to raise a child. Just like it is given for the fathers to give directions to their sons, and the mothers to give them spiritual backing on those directions, so it is for knowledge and understanding. It is the duty of the mother to give the kids knowledge, and it is the father to give the kids an understanding of that knowledge. Why? So the child can walk wisely. A mother is instructed to give their children knowledge. That is facts, information, and skills. A father is instructed to give their children understanding or comprehension of those facts, information, and skills. And the child, when they apply knowledge and understanding in their daily lives, they are practicing wisdom. Proverbs 4 verses 5 to 7, get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting get understanding. If the father is not there to give the children understanding, they can never achieve wisdom. But the mothers, not even knowing these principles, has effectively removed the fathers of their kids' lives and replaced them with the Department of Education in hopes to obtain understanding or some other institute of higher learning. Number 3, mothers can't teach their sons discretion. As we turn on the news or open our phones, we see the results of our mothers' attempts at teaching their sons discretion. A son must be taught discretion by his father. Why? Because he will be able to teach him how to behave and speak in such a way as to avoid causing offense, and how to properly decide what should be done in any given situation from a logical point of view, and not to allow his emotions and feelings to control him. Mothers cannot do this, because they only operate from an emotional point of view, and they teach from that same emotional viewpoint. This is why when we turn on the news, dozens of women instigated and created situations end up tragically for their male companions. Sadly, no one is calling for these instigators and starters to give account for their actions. No, they just say things like, they didn't have to, or he was protecting my honor and it doesn't matter. But more likely someone is deceased and another is incarcerated. And the instigator, who started it all, is playing the victim, home being comforted by her side piece. This is why it is vital for the father to teach his son discretion. So nobody, woman, friend, no parent will lead him down a road to tragedy. The father is given to teach the son discretion, and the mother is given the task to give him spiritual backing for his lessons. Proverbs 6th chapter verses 1 through 5. Sadly, mothers have effectively removed the fathers from their sons' lives through their bitter attitude and blocking the relationship. And they have replaced the fathers with the Department of Mental Health. Or they are raising sons/husbands to replace the man in their lives. Number 4, mothers can't give their kids an inheritance. No matter how much wealth and material things a mother spoils her kids with, it will never replace the God-ordained inheritance of a father. Inheritance is more than wealth and material things. Proverbs 13:22 A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. It is more than mere words. It is the passing of the torch. It is the blessing from God through the Father. It is the Father's approval of leadership and legacy. It is the instructions and guidelines to follow. The transfer of material things and wealth is included, and it can only come from a father. A mother may offer a blessing to her children, but that blessing will only go as far as her words did. The thing most Western women are proud of is their promiscuous behaviors, having kids and not even knowing who the fathers are. Therefore, they couldn't even tell you the household in which their kids come, let alone their children's inheritance rights. The majority of these mothers try to force the father to bless their children, but it can never be forced. Now mothers have effectively removed the father from their kids' lives, and they have replaced the fathers with the Department of Child Support. Or they weaponize the court system against the fathers. Number 5, mothers can't offer correction to their kids. Nothing is more detrimental to the kids than a divided house. Men who live in the house with their kids, and those who don't, know this fact, that the mothers refuse to allow the fathers to discipline their children. And whenever the father offers correction to them, his judgments and words are contradicted by the mother. Every decision is argued against by the mother. The only peace in the house is when it's empty. A child without correction will become a problem for everyone. When this child begins to act out in society, and others start to take notice, this is when the mother turns to the father and wants him to now correct them. But usually by this time, if the father is still around, he doesn't have the will or drive to attempt to raise the kids. He has adapted to this minimum participation role in the kid's life. The fathers are the only ones that can offer true correction. For he will know the proper correction needed for the given situation. The majority of men employ a wide variety of corrections. But when he takes the child's phone for bad grades, or he takes the PS5 because the child is fighting in school. Proverbs 3 verse 12, For whom the Lord loveth he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. 99% of the time his methods rub the mother wrong, and she quickly opens her mouth in disagreement. Now mothers have effectively prevented fathers from correcting their kids, and they have replaced the fathers with the Department of Corrections. Or they release the child to the streets and let the streets have them. Number 6, mothers can't provide glory for their kids. This is probably the biggest hurt that mothers do to their kids. A mother, no matter how conniving or glorious she is in this world, is, will be, or can ever be the glory of their kids. The glory of a child will forever be their father's. Proverbs 17 verse 6, Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. 90% of single mothers eventually become competitors against their daughters. And 90% of them try to raise a son that is opposite to his father. But a father is the only glory of their children, no matter what negative things the mother may say about the father. The bottom line is their father is their glory. The mother can never be their glory. And the only way these mothers attempt to bring glory to their children is by gaining validation as singers, actresses, or college graduates for their daughters, and encouraging the sons to gain validation in the world as being some type of professional athlete, CEO, or entertainer. But 85% of them fail to do so. They turn out to be an Instagram model, OnlyFans, or podcaster for the daughters, and being a police, a drug dealer, or gang member for the sons. In other words, mothers promote their kids to gain glory by any means available. But nothing can satisfy like receiving your father's glory. Mothers who have effectively excluded the fathers from their kids' lives force the children to seek glory from some outside source. This includes but is not limited to drugs, validation, and attention. This is the most harmful thing mothers are doing to their kids. And she seeks to replace the father with anything and everything she can think of, including the Department of Armed Services. These are the top 6 reasons why mothers need fathers, and how the government has replaced fathers as the man of the house. We hope these amazing truths have enriched your lives and help prepare you for our Lord's return. We would love it if you would share, like, or subscribe to our channel, where we post weekly principles believers may grow by. If you were blessed by the content in this video, please leave a comment below. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.